Hello, in this video we are going to learn IAM resource in AWS. IAM stands for Identity Access Management. The name of the resource itself, we can define that it is related to access and management of the resources. In IAM, we will discuss the concepts of IAM user, IAM role, and IAM policy. Now coming to IAM user, Identity Access Management user. It means, for example, a developer needs to access one of the AWS resources like EC2 or S3 or CloudWatch. He don't need access all the resources. At that time, we are going to create an IAM user and we are giving credentials to that user for login. If we want to give only specific resource to access, at that time we are going to use this IAM user concept. For example, IAM user, for example, one user need to access only S3 bucket. He doesn't require to access EC2. So at that time, we are going to create one IAM user and we are giving that credentials to that user. So he can use only S3 bucket, not EC2. So let's see how to create IAM user in practical. Let me open my AWS console. In the search bar, I am going to give IAM. This is that. Here under access management, you can see that users. Click on users. Here, let's create user, top right corner. Click on this. Here, give username. I am going to give as Jack as a username. So go for I want to create an IAM user. Here, click on custom password. I am going to give one password here. Click on next. Next and create user. Yes, the user got created. Here we can see that this is the password, username and console sign in. We need to log in through this user. We have to give this https address. By using this address we can log in that username. Let's copy this URL. I'm going to paste it here. This is IAM user, so I'm going to give as username and password. Then click on sign in. Here we need to change password. Give old password and create a new password. Now I am going to sign in as a newly created user, that is Jack. I given username as Jack. So continue to sign in. Yes, this is not actual user. This is newly created username with password. So you can see that here username is Jack. So like this, we can create a user in IAM. Now we have to give permissions like policies to this user. Let's see. Now let's discuss about IAM policy. Here we can see that policy means an AWS resources. We can create policies manually based on the requirement, or we can go for AWS managed policies. Why policies means, for example, after creating a user, he need to access one of the resource like S3 bucket or EC2 instance. So he need permission, right? That's why we are creating a policy and we are attaching that policy to the specific user. Let's see how to create a policy and how to attach a policy to that newly created user. Here I need to sign in again. Why? Because I was logged in through newly created user, right? So I'm going to sign in again. I am back with normal user, which is not newly created one. This is the newly created user. So let's see about policies. Under access management, we can see that policies. Click on that. These are the AWS resources. For example, I am going to search S3. See here, we can see that Amazon S3 full access, S3 object lambda. Like this, we have so many resources in AWS. These resources are called as policies under IAM. So I'm going to select Amazon S3 full access and click on actions. Here I am attaching this AWS resource to newly created user. Let's see. This is the newly created IAM user. So click on that. Then click on attach policy. Let's go to the users. Click on user. Here we can see that newly attached policy. Policy means it is like a permission to the one of the AWS resource. Like in this user, now this user can access Amazon S3 full access. What's the resource specifically we mentioned and we attached, only the user can access that resource only. Instead of that, he can't access remaining resources in AWS. Like this, we can create policy or we can attach policy to the user. And the use of the policy is like a user need to access only specific AWS resources. Why? Because it is like a security purpose, or we can think like based on the requirement or any other use cases. Let's see more about user and policies in IAM. Now we have created an IAM user. So we can log in through by using this user credentials, and we have attached an IAM policy, that is S3. So this user can access only S3 bucket in AWS resources. When he log in AWS account, so he can access only S3 bucket. Why? Because we have attached one policy to that user, that is specific policy, S3 policy only. So more than that, he can't access any of the Amazon resources. Like he can't access EC2 or any of the resource. So this is what actually we performed. We just created one IAM user jack, and we have attached S3 policy. It means this jack user can access S3 resource only in the AWS resources. I hope you understood clearly now. Let's check practically. Click on username, and here click on security credentials. Under permissions, we can see that Amazon S3 full access and IAM user change password. It is manually, like it is automatically we have created when the IAM user was creating, and we have attached this policy. Policy means permissions. We can judge it like a permissions, right? So click on security credentials and copy this link, paste it on browser. I am going to sign in as a newly created user, IAM user, like username Jack, and password I am going to give, and click on sign in. See here, user profile got changed to Jack. Now if I open S3 bucket here, or else you can search on S3. By using this user, we can create a S3 bucket and all. We can perform operations related to S3 bucket. So now I am going to another user, like another resource in AWS. For example, EC2. Now I am going to access EC2 resource by using the newly created user. Let me open this. See, you are not authorized to perform this operation, user and all this. So with the Jack user, newly created one user, we can't access EC2 like this. Why? Because we didn't attach a policy regarding to EC2 to that user. So we attached a policy particularly specifically only S3. So by using this Jack user, we can access S3 resources only. Instead of that, we can't access any of the resource. We don't have permissions. Even let's see IAM. See access denied and all. Even we can't access IAM also. The user only have S3 resource access only. Like this, the use case of user IAM users in AWS resources. I hope you understood clearly what I told regarding to IAM user and IAM policies. We have many of the policies in AWS. See, by using these users, we can't see policies also, like except the policy which we have attached to the user, we can see only that policy only. Policy in the sense resources in AWS, like we can say it as like a permission. I can re-log into normal user. I am back with original user instead of newly created one user. So now I can access all, like users roles policies. Let's discuss about roles. IAM roles. In AWS, If one resource needs to access another resource, we are using IAM rules. For example, I have one EC2 instance. I want to access S3 bucket to that instance. Like this, we are going to create an IAM rules. Let's see practical. Let me open my AWS console. Here, click on roles under AWS management. Then create a role. Choose service. I am creating this role for EC2. Click on next. I want to access S3 bucket. So I am going to give Amazon S3 full access. Click on next. Role name. I am going to give role name as S3. Then create role. Yes, successfully role was created in the name of S3. Click on S3. Yes, this is the role we have created, and we have attached a policy. Policy in the sense permission, like AWS resources. Now I have attached S3 full access permission to that particular role S3. So let's go to EC2 instance. Under instances, click on instances. This is the instance. Click on actions and click on security. Modify IAM role. Remember all this process, how to create a role and how to attach a role to one particular instance. For example, now I have to attach that newly created role to this EC2 instance. So for that, yeah, let me show you again. Select instance, click on actions, click on security, modify IAM role. Click on here, choose IAM role. See, S3. This is the newly created IAM role. So click on role, update IAM role. Yes, role got updated. So we have successfully attached that S3 role was EC2 instance. So let's connect this EC2 instance. Click on connect. EC2 instance was connected successfully. Let's check what role was attached to this EC2 instance. To check what role was attached to EC2 instance, for that one command is there. So that is AWS STS get hyphen caller hyphen identity. By using this command, we can check the role by here only. Click on enter. Yes, we can see that role name here S3, which is newly created role, and we are attaching that role to this particular instance. Let's see. I will tell you clearly here. Now we have created one IAM role to access a particular instance. Okay, in that role contains S3 related access. You can generally say this as S3 related access. So the main concept of the created role was like EC2 instance need to access S3 bucket. Here EC2 instance is one resource, S3 bucket is another resource in AWS. So to access one resource to another resource in AWS, we are going to create one IAM role. This is what exactly. I hope you understood clearly. So then coming to concepts from starting. Yes, IAM resource in AWS. IAM stands for Identity Access Management. In the name itself, we can define that it is related to access and management. In this video, we have discussed IAM user, IAM role, IAM policy. By using IAM user, we can create an IAM user to give specific resources permissions, and we can create policies by attaching the policies to the IAM user, and we can create IAM roles like this. By using all these concepts, we can, these are the use cases we can use daily operations. So this is about IAM resource in AWS. Thanks for watching.